And we're back with more Let's Play Spirit of Justice. So, Rafa did her divination seance, but nothing ended up happening during the seance, and we're trying to figure out what's going on here. Your benevolence! What in the world? I was unable to invoke any sort of response. I called out the spirit's name many times, but to no avail. Did we Is Abot's name the right one that we gave? Just as I thought. Wait, what does he know that we don't? Hold on, I need to move my seat. I had sought to confirm the contents of today's divination seance. After all, it is customary for the prosecutor to verify it beforehand. Come to think of it, I must go perform a divination seance for Perez-a-lot. It is our custom for the prosecution to review its contents before a trial begins. And that is why I sought to stop her benevolence from performing it here. However, she insisted that it be done. She wished to try one more time here in the Hall of Justice. It would appear her benevolence is tired from her manifold duties. I am not anything of the sort! The victim's spirit will not answer my call, but I know not why. It is my sacred duty to convey the truth through the divination seance. Rafa, what are we to do without a divination seance? I suppose I shall have to deliver the last rites without them. The prosecution has already taken that into account when preparing for today. I am fully capable of proving the accused's guilt with or without a divination seance. Ha 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 ha! You never failed to impress, Prosecutor Sabahi. This is bad. The divination seance was my one and only hope. Your Majesty, her benevolence said she isn't tired, so shouldn't we try to find out why the divination seance failed? How curious, Mr. Wright. Why have you suddenly taken such a keen interest in the divination seance? Yes, explain yourself. The divination seance is for shedding light on an accused's crime. It is the Holy Mother's hammer of wrath that is ever poised to pound you into your grave. You should fear it, not plead for it. I believe in my client. Plus, yesterday, somebody told me something that changed my mind. The divination seance was once thought of as just another piece of evidence. If we were to correctly interpret the visions through careful analysis, then they would lead us to the truth behind what really happened. And the truth will show that my client, Maya Fey, is innocent.
The truth is, you don't have anything else to fall back on, huh, Nick?
Maya, just no. Maya, please, you're not helping. How dare you! The voice of a Minima is to be feared, not utilized by vile lawyers such as you! Seances exact a heavy toll upon the royal priestess. It would be best not to burden her any further. Or does the defense feel that it can pose no counter-argument without the seance? No, of course not. He saw right through me. I'll have to find a way to make the divination seance happen, or we're toast. Well, since the divination seance is not possible at this time, I see no other choice. Let us proceed with the trial without the seance, as Prosecutor Sabahi suggested. Thank you, Your Majesty. Why, I will not forget this, Barbhead! This will not be the last you see of me! But how is it his fault? He wanted the seance! Now then, I will now proceed by providing an outline of the case at hand. Very well. If the lead detective would please come to the stand, we may begin. What up, Emma? Oh god, Emma and Maya are in the within vicinity of each other. Sorry, Mr. Wright. Detective Sky, I understand how you would wish to save the accused and the defense. They are your friends, after all. But you must let them go, and move on. You can't see it, but I'm sticking up my middle finger because fuck you. No. But there is only one way to save them now. By giving their souls the chance to burn away the taint of their sins in the infernal flames. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, no eating in the Sacred Hall of Justice. Emma's like, yeah, forget that, I'm gonna eat it.
Miss Sky,
Yes?
don't worry about me and Nick. You just do your job. I'm sure Nick will figure something out. Eventually.
Right. Thanks, Miss Faye. How very brave for a criminal with a tainted soul. Very well, Detective Sky. Please proceed. Okay, I can do this. Let me start with an overview of this case. It's alright, Emma. Just say what you gotta say. We'll figure things out. It'll be fine! The latest victim was praised a lot. He had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years. The High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest. I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. Would the defense care to respond? I didn't spot any inconsistencies in her testimony so far, and I don't have any evidence in my arsenal. What am I going to do now? What is it, Maya?
I was just wondering about how much the police actually looked into Acolyte Zealot. Because it just might prove to be the key as to why the divination seance failed.
Brazelot's name is probably not actually his name. What are you getting at?
Well, it's just a hunch.
Wait a second. During my investigation, Rafa told me about the divination about how the divination seance works. If I could figure out why it failed, maybe she could try it again. Okay, time to press for more information. Let's do it. What kind of person was Acolyte Zealot? According to the neighbors and her others who knew him, he was a deeply devout youth. I, too, have heard his name mentioned as one who was a fervent practitioner. I suppose you might say he was the High Priest's star disciple. Furthermore, I think I have to skip the third statement because I will continue this part. 2 years? Are you sure about that? We took statements from his neighbors and his fellow monks. They all corroborated our initial findings. What about you, Maya?
Well, when I first came here, I saw Zealot praying under the High Priest's instruction.
I see. So the results of the police investigation seem to check out. Alright, we're gonna skip that. Maya isn't that Lady Kira who's been going around capturing rebels. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright, but that verdict was already handed down in the previous trial. It is no longer a point of dispute, and I will not allow you to make it so. But no ifs, ands, and most of all, no buts. The accused was posing as Lady Kira, and she killed Acolyte Zealot because she mistakenly believed him to be a rebel.
That's not true!
I'm sorry. The verdict has already been read in that case. I have to assume that it's fact now. That's not good. Maya, you mentioned that Emma's testimony might hold a clue as to why the seance failed.
I did, but it's really just a hunch.
Could you tell me what your hunch is? That might mean that there was a mistake made during the investigation. It would have to be information that would impact the seance. What could it be? His name! Well, I love it when I'm like one step ahead of things. Alright, we're gonna press on the third statement. Was Mrs. Inme's positive ID the only way you verified the identity of the victim? Huh? Well, no. We also checked the ID card he carried and the data in his family registry. But what? His personal information didn't match any of the public records we cross-referenced. Maybe that's why the divination seance failed. I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Wright. Here's what I'm thinking. Praise-a-lot is a fake name. The victim decided to hide his identity for some reason. In other words, he was using a fake name. The royal priestess uses a deceased's face and true name to summon their spirit. Why, yes, that is indeed true. If he was using a forged ID and there is no mention of him in our public records, then he was likely an illegal immigrant. They are not uncommon here in Khurain. An illegal immigrant? Come to think of it, Rafa mentioned something about immigrants yesterday. But if that's the case, we have no way of knowing who he really is. We'll have to proceed without holding a divination seance this time. Urgh! I had always thought that Acolyte Zealot was Khurainese. Oh, how the High Priest must be lamenting his disciples' deception in the Twilight Realm. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Should we add this to the testimony? Yes, add it. This is an important fact. Please add it to the testimony. It would seem to be a fact most inconvenient for the defense. But if you insist, Detective Sky, please add what you just said to your testimony. Yes, Your Majesty. He was an illegal immigrant, so we don't know his real name. Isn't there some way to track down his real name? No, not if he was an illegal immigrant. Have you actually confirmed that he was in a Khurain illegally? Well, we don't have any conclusive evidence. But there's also no evidence of him being a citizen of Khurain either. Oh boy, now what do we do?
What if there was a clue in the evidence you gathered?
That's probably our only hope at this point. If he really was an illegal immigrant, our proverbial goose is probably cooked. Alright, there is evidence that we can use. We are going to go back to that statement and present the photo of Mr. Zealot. Because we can use how the Khurain use markings to identify people. Objection! Sorry, Detective Sky. But the police missed something important in their investigation. Huh? What are you talking about? The victim was undeniably a Khurainese native. And this crime scene photo proves it. It does? It's a little hard to see, but look closely. You'll see clear proof that the victim was Khurainese. Where? I don't see anything that would prove that. This proves the victim was Khurainese. This odd peach thing. Look at this tattoo right here. What, that's a tattoo of a peach? I would like you all to think about the meaning of this tattoo. Oh, the victim really liked peaches? Well, peaches are a favorite delicacy here in Khurain. They happen to be a personal favorite of mine. The sweetness of their abundant nectars and the softness of their perfectly ripe flesh. They are a blessing from the Holy Mother herself.
Nick, I've suddenly got a craving for peaches.
Me too. After the trial, Maya, right now we have bigger fish to fry. Unfortunately, that is not a tattoo of a peach. It is not a peach, you say. Then what is it? Take a closer look. Haven't you seen something like that before? Namely the tattoo on the High Priest's brow. Oh my! What? This mark is only borne by members of the Khurainist clergy. So that is what you believe it to be. But are they not utterly different shapes? Sure, they're shaped differently, but there's a reason for that. The victim had the peach-shaped tattoo inked over an existing tattoo for some reason. However, the dark red portion is exactly the same as the mark all Khurain's clergy bear. Hey, you're right! Until about 20 some odd years ago, everyone did get one, didn't they? I myself bear one on my... That is entirely too much information, Your Majesty. To just say he was talking about his buttocks. Information on everyone who enters the clergy is maintained at the temple. All we have to do is look up a monk with a mark in the same spot. I'm on it. I'll let you know if I get any hits. That will not be necessary. If you seek information on the clergy, I have it all right here. What? So you knew? Oh my, you never cease to amaze. So, tell us, is there anything who fits the bill? Anyone? There is just one, and his name is real name. Oh my god. Khurain! Khurain, you're being a little too literal with your puns here. Oh god. There is just one, and his name is Real Nemu. He became a monk 20 years ago. I can't with these puns. Then that must be the victim's real name. But why would he have tried to cover up his tattoo with another one? Yeah, there must have been some reason.
Nick, that's not important right now. The important thing is that we know his real name.
You're right. Your Majesty, now that we know the victim's real name, the divination seance might finally work. A lawyer who willingly seeks a seance. This is entirely unprecedented. You are but digging your own grave, Defense. We won't know that until we try. Sure, it's risky, but it's our only hope. Very well. Let the divination seance be held once more. Why would a lawyer work so hard to see the divination seance be held once more? You are a fool, Barbhead, and your foolishness shall yield no gratitude from me. For with the truth revealed by my insights, I shall gladly seek your demise. Bring it on, Princess. Because I will correctly interpret each and every one of your insights. Huh! You will regret ever thinking you could use my insights as evidence.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
And skipping this too. I swear that's where all the budget went. Yo, we did it! That barely had much to work with, and that looked really bad for us. Oh my! It is just as Mr. Wright surmised. Perazilot wasn't the victim's true name. And now at last we have seen the victim's final moments. But all we could see was the ground. You seem terribly disappointed. I take it you did not find any father for one of your infamous turnabouts? No. I, on the other hand, have discovered something. Conclusive evidence. that establishes the accused's guilt. You did? A most surprising surprise attack. So, tell us, Prosecutor Samahi, what is this conclusive evidence you have found? The Plume Punisher theme song that the deceased heard. Please consider this item here. It was confiscated from the accused during her interrogation.
Hey, that's my Plume Punisher strap!
When you press the Magatama on the Plume Punisher's belt. You know, that is some high quality sound coming from this little thing. I missed the scream. Sorry. I was jamming to this bootleg. It seems the accused inadvertently pressed the button in the midst of her crime. This strap is an extremely rare item, is it not, Miss Faye?
You'd better not break it.
I like that's how we're concerned.
There's only one of those in the whole wide world.
Incriminate yourself even more. But Maya, no! It is just as I said. Your flights of fancy have come crashing down on you.
She sure seems to be enjoying this.
Yeah, I've never seen her so thrilled before either. It is time to accept the fact that the divination seance is far more than mere evidence. It is the very truth that brings the hammer of justice down upon the accused. And that is as conclusive as evidence can get. Now then, if there are no further objections. Slow down there, Mere Majesty. At least let me make a counter-argument. What's this? Do you take issue with the divination seance? Oh, I have issues with it. I just don't know what they are yet. But that's never stopped me before. The divination seance is not the absolute truth. It only becomes the truth after it's been interpreted correctly. You do not know when you are beaten, do you, you foolish lawyer? I am the only one who speaks for the minima of the deceased. If you believe there to be errors in my insights, then let us see you prove it. We'll prove it, all right. Rayfa's insight. The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. The pattern on the plaza's ground was visible in the darkness. Then, someone was there, and the theme of the Plume Punisher filled the air. The accused held the victim down and plunged her dagger into her upper back. The blade struck true, and in that instant, he departed from this world. That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments. Her benevolence's insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true. I didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. I'll just have to go over each and every one of the deceased's sensations very carefully. Alright. What we gotta look into first is the smell. There's ginghol. And there shouldn't be any ginghol if it was nighttime? The night of the rite? Okay. So let's select the ginghol. Because you shouldn't have any of that. Objection! Because you can't eat on the day of prayer. Was it really the night of the rite? What do you mean? It could not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolyte Zealot after killing the High Priest during the purification rite. The only problem is the deceased's spirit does not corroborate that. What's this? Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says ginghol? Ginghol? Acolyte Zealot shouldn't have smelled any ginghol on the night of the rite. What? What do you mean? Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled Ginga Hill on the night of the rite. Not that statement. We're looking for believe statement. Yeah, this one. The High Priest's wife, Believe in Me, told me about the Feast of Blessings. The feast includes a number of Ginga Hill-based dishes, and they're only supposed to be served at a certain time of the day before the rite. Why, I believe you're right. I had completely forgotten about that. During the feast, the unique smell of Ginga Hill pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 p.m. the day before the purification rite. I am not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite. Oh right, I taught her about that yesterday. Forgive me, Your Benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change. What's this? Like, if a body was kept cold, the slow rate of decay makes the death seem more recent. Why, I believe I've heard something of the sort before. If it is as Mr. Wright claims, the estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revised. I mean, we have proof that it was frozen too. Barbhead, you blinded me with science! Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for? No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the rite. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused's prints on it is incontrovertible evidence. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Though a bit dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. The time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible.
Nick!
A change in time of death is bound to cause some sort of inconsistency. If I had something that showed what it was like on that day, it could really help. I think we do have something for that day, but for now, we are going to continue this in the next video because we're almost out of time and I'd rather not start the next part of this. So, we're going to hold off here and continue in the next video. See you guys then. Without them. The prosecution has already taken that into account when preparing for today. I am fully capable of proving the accused's guilt with or without a divination seance. You never failed to impress, Prosecutor Submahi. This is bad. The divination seance was my one and only hope. Your Majesty, Her Benevolence said she isn't tired. So shouldn't we try to find out why the divination seance failed? How curious, Mr. Wright. Why have you suddenly taken such a keen interest in the divination seance? Yes, explain yourself. The divination seance is for shedding light on an accused's crime. It is the Holy Mother's hammer of wrath that is ever poised to pound you into your grave. You should come to think of it. I must go perform a divination seance for Perezalat. It is our custom for the prosecution to review its contents before a trial begins. And that is why I sought to stop Her Benevolence from performing it here. However, she insisted that it be done. She wished to try one more time here in the Hall of Justice. It would appear Her Benevolence is tired from her manifold duties. I'm not anything of the sort! The victim's spirit will not answer my call, but I know not why. It is my sacred duty to convey the truth through the divination seance. Rafa, what are we to do without a divination seance? I suppose I shall have to deliver the last rite. Hear it, not plead for it. I believe in my client. Plus, yesterday, somebody told me something that changed my mind. The divination seance was once thought of as just another piece of evidence. If we were to correctly interpret the visions through careful analysis, then they would lead us to the truth behind what really happened. And the truth will show that my client, Maya Fey, is innocent.
The truth is, you don't have anything else to fall back on, huh, Nick?
Maya, just no. Maya, please, you're not helping. How dare you! The voice of a minima is to be feared, not utilized by vile lawyers such as you! Seances exact a heavy toll upon the royal priestess. It would be best not to burden her. And we're back with more Let's Play Spirit of Justice. So, Rafa did her divination seance, but nothing ended up happening during the seance, and we're trying to figure out what's going on here. Your benevolence! What in the world? I was unable to invoke any sort of response. I called out the spirit's name many times, but to no avail. Did we Is Abot's name the right one that we gave? Just as I thought. Wait, what does he know that we don't? Hold on, I need to move my seat. I had sought to confirm the contents of today's divination seance. After all, it is customary for the prosecutor to verify it beforehand. Her any further. Or does the defense feel that it can pose no counter-argument without the seance? No, of course not. He saw right through me. I'll have to find a way to make the divination seance happen, or we're toast. Well, since the divination seance is not possible at this time, I see no other choice. Let us proceed with the trial without the seance, as Prosecutor Sumahi suggested. Thank you, Your Majesty. Why, I will not forget this, Barbhead! This will not be the last you see of me! But how is it his fault? He wanted the seance! Now then, I will now proceed by providing an outline of the case at hand. Very well. If the lead detective would please come to the stand, we may begin.